Hey guys, how's it going? You already know it's your girl, Bonita. Who is she? So, I told you guys that I would be back and I would give you guys more of an in depth update as to what class I'm taking now. So, that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be about the class I'm taking now and some tidbits, how I'm doing so far in the class, and what are some suggestions of things that, suggestions and advice on studying tips. You know, I think that's something we don't talk about a lot is how to actually study and prepare, you know, for exams, that you might take, quizzes, tests, etc. How to help with memory and retention. So this is what this video is going to be about, help with things like that. I think one of the things that my instructor asked us to do a discussion on was what were some of the ways that we studied, sorry, for exams, and what are some tips that we would give to others, and what are some advice and tips that we would like to have from our classmates ourselves, from others as well. So it's kind of like a give and a take. And I really like that because that's really how it should be. Everybody in the class should be working together, should be working as a team, because at the end of the day, we have the same objective, we have the same goal. So working towards that objective and goal is a outstanding thing. So as you guys can see, my shirt, I love this shirt. It says stay positive, keep moving, and what is it? Forward. Yeah, stay positive, keep moving forward. I hope you can see that. And that's just one of my sentiments in life. You know, I always try to have a positive attitude about everything, no matter whether something is going the way I expect it to go or not. So, before we get into all, you know, the extra stuff, I do have a drink that I'm drinking. I'm really drinking Starbucks. I'm drinking Starbucks, and this is one of their, I guess maybe it's a newer drink that you guys might not even know about. It is called the Ice Lavender Matcha. The Ice Lavender Matcha, or matcha, however you guys say it. This one, they didn't put the lavender foam on the top like they did my last one. I'll maybe insert a picture of that so you guys can see what it looks like when it's full. This is so good. And they also have a cherry one also. It's called a iced cherry latte. Chai latte. The cherry one. The cherry one tastes okay, but this one is my favorite because it actually tastes like a milkshake that somebody added ice to. So it's really good. So this is what I'm sipping on. Okay. So the class that I am taking, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm probably, oh, excuse me. I'm trying to think how far along am I in this. This is only an 8 weeks class. I'm taking it online. I'm probably on week 4 of the class. I'm probably on week 4 of the class. So I'm definitely inching my way through the class, but you clearly can't see this, and I know it says biology 168, but it is actually, if you look at the top, I don't know if you can see at the very top, it is anatomy and physiology. So that's the class I'm in now, is anatomy and physiology. So I'm very happy about that. And so far, I've been doing really, really well. I have to say, at the start of the class, I had an A average. So far, we've already went through Module 1, had an exam on that. We've already went through Module 2. Friday, we had an exam on that. And now we are in Module 3. That's right, we are in module 3. And after module 3, there's only 2 more modules left. So essentially, I'm already practically halfway done with this class, which is great. And at first, I thought everybody was making it seem, my advisors and everyone was saying how, and even the tutors were saying, we don't know if you should be taking that online. You know, it's a lot of information. And if you take it online, you're really going to struggle. So far, have to speak honestly, I haven't struggled at all with this class so far. What I do know about this class is it is a lot of retention, a lot of memory that you have to use. You have to use a lot of your memory to remember things. And so that's something you have to do. So one of the things that I've been doing presently right now, I'm at a B average presently right now. I'm only at a B average now because um, one of my labs, she gave me a 54 on, which was hands-on lab histology. Um, yeah, the histology. She gave me a 54 on, but she allowed me to resubmit it. So right now I'm just waiting for her to give me my resubmitted grade, for her to actually grade that. And then the other lowest grade I have received in this whole class also is a 62, which is one of my labs for axoskeletal system, which I don't even know how I got a 62 on that, because one of the things I've been really good about memorizing is the axoskeletal system. That's just one of the things I memorize, as well as the appendicular skeletal system. So the axle is the head on down the middle, including your ribs on down the middle. The appendicular is your everything on the outside, which would be all your limbs, foot, hands, all the outside things. So that made it pretty easy for me to memorize that. So I'm not really sure, about that. This isn't one that she's allowing me to retake, which is fine, because I have a discussion board too she hasn't graded. I have another lab, appendicular skeletal system lab, that she has not graded. And so I have 2 things she has not graded and 1 thing she has not regraded. So that's 3 grades essentially that I'm waiting to come in. I like also doing my assignments online ahead of time. I do as many assignments I can a day ahead of time. So let's say Friday, we had our exam Friday. None of our modules were due until tomorrow. I got all of my modules already did out the way. And I already have one of my labs did out the way. So now I only got 1 more lab to do this week, and that's for joints and muscles. And I already wrote my discussion board. I have to do that. I just got to type that up, respond to 2 other people, and that's complete for this week. And these things are not due until the 25th. And today is the 22nd, Sunday. So one of my tips and advice is to definitely do everything ahead of schedule. If you do everything ahead of schedule, you'll never be behind. And in case an emergency or unforeseen event comes up, you won't be struggling, to get assignments done, because you already had your assignments done. So you won't even have to worry about that. So today, I'll work on a few assignments today, because like I said, just trying to get them out the way for the week. So, and I like to do that so that I can set aside at least 3 study days. I set aside at least 3 study days. Now, some people will tell you that they study for a whole week long, okay? I don't study for a whole week long. I set aside 3 study days that are just for studying. The reason why I do that is because every time we're working on a module, that is information. We're answering questions, okay? And we researching the answers in the book, you know, for the questions that we don't know the answer to. We have to, which none of them we would know the answer to because this is new information. So you would have to look through the book to find the answers. So I make sure I take extensive notes, you know, and while I'm writing and doing that, that is a form of studying. So technically, I'm studying for this class, each module, each lesson subject, I'm studying for it every day leading up to it, through various ways. But the days I actually set aside is only 3 days that I actually set aside. So that's a tip and advice that I would give to anyone. I think that's very important. One of the other things, I actually can show you some of my notes here so that you can actually see what I mean. And I think I'm an extensive note taker. So like for here, chapter 4, these are my notes. I don't know if you can see them close. Okay, I use different colors as well to highlight the definition word. I use bullet points, and I just definitely try to do as many notes as I can. So that's a tip also that is helpful to help you with. Also a part of organization, you know, because that was a question in my class group. Was some of my classmates had a hard time with organization with online classes. So what we do get is we get an online course calendar. So for my calendar, I print out my calendar. Okay, for the calendar, it has everything that is due and it has the dates that everything is due on over here. So everything that I actually complete, I highlighted, okay, which I think is very important in organization. When you highlight it, because that's my way of saying, hey, I did that, it's done. I highlighted, I can see it's highlighted, it's done. And then for any type of exams that I took, I write the grade in red on the side so that I can keep up on my calendar, keep track of my grades in case I'm not looking at my laptop. You know, it's a way of me keeping track. So right now, for example, I'm on module 3, and on module 3, what was due Monday, chapter 8, joints and movements, I've already done, so I highlighted that. I actually did chapter 9, muscle system histology, but I did not highlight that. So that's my point. I don't have a highlighter near me, but I haven't highlighted that. And I also completed chapter 10 also, and I haven't highlighted that either because I finished that last night. So so you see how it is important to have things highlighted because you know, okay, I already did that. I don't have to worry about it. And I'm only, which it leaves me with things that are due February, June the 27th. So you see how far I am ahead. I don't have nothing else that's due until Friday, June the 27th. And today is Sunday. So that's just a tip that, you know, I feel like it's a helpful tip for me. And I think it's a helpful tip that you guys could probably use as well. And I'm trying to think of what else. Oh, so because I got approved for disability accommodations, I know I talked about that in one of my previous videos. One of the things my instructor has done, which by the way, I love my instructor, is that qualifies me to have a copy of all of her lecture videos um, from her in-class room session. She provided me with those without me even having to ask her for those when the class first started. So I was very, very pleased, about that. That was very helpful. But I'd have to honestly tell you, I've only skimmed through those videos because she provides so many helpful videos for us to look at. So I really don't have to utilize the other videos because she really has so many videos for each of the modules that we have. Even when we do our labs come with videos for us to watch, and which I take notes on those videos as well separately. I also take screenshots of skeletal systems as well. That's important to do. Take screenshots because 9 times out of 10, the questions in the lab are going to be questions directly coming from those body systems pictures that was in the videos. So it's important that you have those pictures to refer back on your phone. So that's another great hint to do, which I did not do for the histology. And you could see how my grade was on that histology. So I've learned my lesson on that right there. So you don't want to just be relying on Google, okay? Because if you just rely on Google, you're gonna have some questions that's gonna be wrong because Google doesn't know everything. So it's just very important to do your due diligence, take your own notes, take your own little screenshots, so that you'll have that visual to refer back to. So yes, like I was saying, she provides so many helpful videos, and I'm trying to see which they fall up under her study materials. So this is an instructor who she is very, very, very organized, and I love that. I love that about her because it's very helpful to the whole class. For example, for this one, she has, and these are not long videos. These are like 7-minute, 4-minute videos. But there's a video on the skeletal muscle anatomy. She has, she has a video of organization of actin, which is something that was on the module as well that I went over and took notes on. So you want to have your notes from the modules that you're doing, the online question and answer, so that you have some sense of knowledge of what's going on. But if not, you can always take notes on these videos. So she makes it to where there's no way you don't have access to this information, to be able to be familiar with this information. She also has the muscular system lab for the actual lab as well. I think I already did that lab. So she provides you with repetitive information. She's such a great teacher, and she leaves it open to where we can contact her whenever we want. She always responds. And so this is like one of the videos, and it's a YouTube video. So she is pulling a lot of this directly from YouTube. And so keep in mind, always use YouTube as a source as well, to pull up extra information also that you might feel like that you need. So yeah, and so far both of my module 1 and my module 2 exams I passed. So it's definitely helping. I also do different tricks of different songs and stuff to help me memorize different parts of the body that help me. Because, for example, for fibula and tibula, which is your lower leg bones, you have 2 of them. The larger one is tib, and it's the larger one. You have to remember that's the larger one because that's a test question. And fibula is the smaller bone. So that's also a test question. So the song I came up with was Fib and Tib went up the hill to catch a pair of legs. Tib's was larger, Fib's was smaller, but they didn't care. So, and that is actually what helped me remember it. So actually when I was on the study apps, and as soon as I sing the word, and I always break my words up too, I don't try to remember how to spell the whole word. Okay, because these are some words you've never heard of or pronounced before. What I do is I split the word up. It's fibula, F-I-B-U-L-A. I just do fib, F-I-B, tib, T-I-B. You see how I broke them down? I broke them down because, okay, if you know the beginning, you know the rest of the word. That's just all to it. You know, if you see that word on a test, if you know the beginning, you know the end. You know, so I just did that with all my words. Even with the cranial, face, skeletal. Manella was the jaw. Okay. M-A-N. Manila, I just remembered the first part, man. And I remembered it as man has a jaw. You know, and then the top part was max, max. So I just remember M-A-X, okay, because it's the short for the whole world. Word. I'm sorry, not world. Word. I'm sorry. And so that has been one of my greatest tips that has helped me greatly, is remembering one part of the word only, and also applying different acronyms to food, to things like Golgi apparatus in the cell membrane. You know how I remembered it? Golgi. Glorilla the rapper. That's how I remember Golgi. I was like, Glorilla. I never call it Golgi, I said Glorilla. And I always got that question right because of how I, you know, applied it to different things. So don't be afraid to do that. That's a great tip if you're having a hard time with memory and recollection, because that's something I did. So you guys, I think that's a good bit. If you have any other questions on study tips, you know, I am a wealth of information. I don't mind helping, giving you as much information as I can. I'm not a gatekeeper. Okay, we don't gatekeep over here. I spread the information, I spread the love, because I think it's so helpful, you know, to anybody that is going into any of these classes. You know, you need this, you know, information, you know, to help you. Okay, I realize this video is being a little longer than what I anticipated it to be, but I'm gonna try to speed up a little bit more. So I have a lot going on with school, and another reason why I'm making sure that I stay ahead and doing things ahead of time is because tomorrow I start my new job. Tomorrow I start training, and it's 12 weeks of training. Okay. You probably are thinking, okay, wait a minute, girl, you in school for a program, and by the way, the program that I'm trying to get into, it's going to be a full-time program. And this job is going to be like pretty much full-time job. So we'll see how that, I can't say how long I'm going to be able to be into this actual position because of the program that I'm trying to get into, which is a program that I will be applying to this summer. So right after this class is finished, I will be applying to my program. But one of the reasons why I needed the job is because for my program, for the actual type of job it is, I'll need 1,040 hours can go towards my points on my application. So I'm really trying to do that, because if I get that amount of hours before I put my application in for the program, I'll automatically get the highest amount of points for that, which is 4 points. So that is what I'm striving to do. So it says a minimum of 6 months or 1,040 hours, and which I'll be able to hit because, like I said, I'm doing 12 weeks of training. So within that 12 weeks of training, and like I said, even if I don't hit the actual 1,000 hours, I still can get the option of 3 or 2 points. So the max is 4, then it's 3, then it's 2. So regardless, I'll meet the requirements on that. And I have to get 2 recommendation letters from 2 of my instructors. One of my instructors, my my chemistry instructor, he already said he would do one for me. And hopefully this instructor that I have now, I'm going to ask her to do one. If not, my advisor will do one for me. I'll consult my advisor and see if she would like to do one for me, either or. So I have to have that, and I also have to be up on all my immunizations, which for this certain immunizations I need, which for this position I'm going into, I'm sure I'm going to have to need those same immunizations, CPR certificate, which I'll be getting with this training. So you see how everything is working? Everything is syncing together and working as a plan to help me towards my program. So I'm just really excited, but I just really want to stay focused. And if this is a position that I'm not able to stay in, if they're not able to work with me with my program and going to school, then that's fine. That's fine. That's a position I'll have to let go, you know, and focus on my school and find something else. It's okay, because I know once I'm done with my program, it's definitely going to put me into employment right away. So that's why it's not something that I'm really worried about it. But I'd love for this job to be able to work with me, because this job actually, if I stay on the job for 6 months to a year, they will pay for me to go to school. Cha-ching-ching, see how that works? So I'm gonna try to ride it out, you know, for as long as I can, definitely for those particular purposes right there. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean, okay? Yes, they do cover full tuition assistance. So that's a plus for this particular job. So you guys, I think that's all I got to talk about with you guys. Over this summer, I've been doing a lot of reading, and that'll have to be on another video because our time is running out. But I definitely got to tell you about the books that I've been reading, and the book I'm reading now, and my children are reading as well, and we read together as a family. And we'll talk about that some more on another video. Oh, and we also went on another vacation. Ooh, child, these vacations. And I know I'm delayed in showing you footage from vacations, and just trust and believe they're coming. Okay, so y'all already know it's time for your girl to be out the door. I thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you always keep God in your life first and foremost before any and everything, and always pray to Him on a daily basis. Not just when you need something, but pray to Him all the time. Okay, my friends, I love you guys, and I'm out until you see me again. Bye-bye.